about to give them what they want. I don't think they're ready for this, though. Beast mode, beast mode, beast mode, beast mode, beast mode, beast mode, beast mode.
What's good, YouTube? You know who it is. Chris Jones representing Pump Chasers. And guys, you already know. Get your Pump Chaser subs at TigerFitness.com. Alright, so as you guys know, the Olympia just passed. Man, I wish I was out there, guys. I haven't been to Olympia in a while. I'm gonna try to make it next year if I'm free. But guys, based off the photos and videos I've been seeing, I missed out on a hell of a show. Shout outs to all the winners, man. Sean Clarita won 212, man. Looked amazing. We had Hadi Chopin, won the Olympia, Mr. Olympia. Took Big Ramy's spot. And of course, Chris Bumstead won Classic. Now, I follow quite a few bodybuilding pages, guys. And what I've been noticing, apparently a lot of people feel like Chris Bumstead is light years ahead of Ramon Dino. Yes, I agree, Chris Bumstead is ahead of Ramon Dino, but light years ahead, I'm gonna have to disagree. I even saw on Nick's Bodybuilding and Bullshit, I just watched his video a few hours ago, and he said the same thing, that Chris Bumstead was light years ahead of Ramon Dino. Again, I agree, he's ahead. He did deserve to win first place, but to say light years, I'm gonna have to disagree. This is coming from a guy who is a die-hard bodybuilding fan. I've been a fan of bodybuilding since I was a child. My dad used to have bodybuilding magazines all in the house. One of the first books I've ever read from front to back a few times over, the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. You know, I wouldn't consider myself no bodybuilder. I'm a personal trainer, but I love the discipline of bodybuilding. I love the lifestyle, and of course, I love watching the sport as a spectator. So what we're gonna do is, let's go ahead for fun. Let's check out the comparisons between Chris Bumstead and Ramon Dino. Okay, let's go ahead and check it out. They're on the stage. They called these two guys out for comparisons. They made them hit the mandatory poses. Let's take a look together. All right, guys, so check it out. Sipping on some GEF whey. So let's go ahead and get to this video and look at these physiques, all right? I found two videos. One video, it has some great posing pictures of these guys. And then I found another video, it has them posing side by side, you know, video footage. So one video is photos, the other video is video footage. Let's go ahead and start off with the video footage, all right? As you see, both these guys look good. Came in conditioned. I like their color. They got good color, good amount of oil. They came ready, okay? Now here we go. We got the front double. Now look, as you see, Chris's feet are closer together than Ramon's. And let me tell you why I think that is. Chris has great sweeps in his quads. His vastus lateralis really pop out and flare out. So he doesn't have to do little things like, you know, have one foot farther than the other to enhance his silhouette, to enhance his symmetry. You know, he can keep his feet closer together and keep those lats sweeping out, those quads sweeping out. And he has a great X frame. Look at this. X. Great X frame. In order for Ramon to have a good X frame, especially next to somebody like Chris, he has that 1 foot farther than the other. So I'm going to have to give this pose to Chris. Great X frame. As you see, both these guys are close. Both came in conditioned. Both have great legs. Both have a tiny waist, full rib cage, pretty good arms. But as you see, Chris is just a little bit ahead. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Chris's bicep. Apparently, he may have torn it. All we know is there's a little bit of inflammation. There's a little bit of swelling and a little bit of inflammation in his bicep right here, but it's not that bad. It's not like Dorian Yates back when he tore his tricep, back when he tore his bicep and still won. His shit was terrible and he still won. This is really not that noticeable unless you look really hard. But it's still good enough for the win. All right, so we're going to get his pose to Chris for the simple fact he just has a little bit more lats, a little more swoop in his quads, and he appears to be harder and more conditioned. Just a slightly, guys, when it comes to first and second place, those little small details matter. Just being a little more conditioned or a little more harder can have you go from first to second, which is why you should come at your best if you're going to compete. Let's go to the next pose. All right. We got a side chest right here. Now, I believe in my other video, there's a photo of a side chest. The reason why I prefer the photos is because on the photos, they show more definition. They're more high def. You can get a better look. Okay. So I'm going back and forth between the photos and the video. Okay. So here's the photo. As you guys see, you get a better look. Okay. Now let's take a look downstairs. Look at the glute details. Right? They both have it. But as you see, Chris just comes off a little bit harder. Now look at this right here. They both got separation on the side of their leg. But as you see, not only does Chris have separation, but he has hardness and even lines on top of the quad. Right? Here, you don't really see that with Ramon. This lets you know Chris is just a little bit drier and a little bit harder. Shit, possibly even a little more developed. We know for a fact he's a little harder and a little drier just based off these details alone. But as you see, they both got calves. You can even see both of their soleus muscles. So like I said earlier, guys, yes, Chris is ahead, but he's not light years ahead. I truly believe 1 or 2 years, this guy could be taking Chris out. Okay? As you see right here, which really stands out, the arm development. Ramon got some bubbly arms. Look at the forearms right here. His forearms are crazy. They kind of remind me of Phil Heath. Look at how his brachialis and the brachioradialis literally connects. Thickness, fullness. You don't really see that with Chris Bumstead. Okay? So in my opinion, yes, downstairs on this pose, Chris has a slight edge. But when it comes to the arms, shit, I'm fucking with Ramon. That nice, bubbly fullness of the arms really stick out to me. But unfortunately, Chris is harder upstairs. Look at these lines on the chest. You don't really see that with Ramon's pose. Look at these lines right here. Just harder, fuller, drier, slightly more developed. Okay? So we're going to have to get his pose to Chris. But as you see, Ramon has potential here. All right, next pose. Okay. Let them get set up. Let's see what these guys got. Back double. Now, I actually have a photo for the back double. Let's look at the photo, guys. So as you see, guys, downstairs, they both got conditioning in the glutes. But as you see, Chris has just a little more detail and lines in those hamstrings. You can also see great detail on the outer quad. Both got calves though. So yes, Chris is ahead, but he's just slightly ahead. Now let's go upstairs. This is what it's called the rear double bicep. This is where genetics really play a part. You know, notice Ramon has a really long torso. And his lats are just a slightly higher than Chris Bumstead's. Now look at Chris's lats. Look at this right here. Them upper lats really pop out and they sweep out. You don't really see that with Ramon. As they say, you know, shows are won from the back. Now look at this right here. Again, genetics. Look at the traps. Remember, the traps start at the base of the skull and come to the middle of the back. Look where his traps end. The traps rhomboids, right? Look where it ends. But look at Chris's. He'll go all the way down here. So his upper mid back is gonna pop at you like crazy because he has a bigger, longer trapezius muscle. Again, guys, when it comes to genetics, you can't control your muscle insertions. You can't control your structure. You know, the roundness and fullness of your muscle bellies. These are things that are given to you. All you can do in that gym is just build and perfect what you already have. You know, some things you just can't work for. You know, genetics do matter in competitive bodybuilding. Like I said many times, anybody can get whole ready. Anybody can get a physique that they're proud of, a physique that looks good, but not everybody can reach that champion level, you know, first place at the Olympia type of physique. You know, you're gonna have to have some genetics to go along with that hard work. Okay. So yeah, guys, when it comes to back, this is why Chris Bumstead beat Ramon. He just has more back development. So one thing Ramon's gonna have to do if he wants to become classic physique Olympia one day is bring up that back. Number one priority should be that back because he does have great legs. Okay. You can clearly see it, guys. Night and day difference in the back. Back muscles are just hanging off like slabs of meat. Now look at the shoulders and arms. Look at that. They're pretty close. Look at that. Shoulders and arms. Look at these fucking forearms, man. Damn. These forearms are fucking crazy. But yeah, guys, he can get this back up. It's going to be a problem. Especially in the lower lat area. You know, Ramon has a long torso, so he's really going to have to beef up the lower lat area. He's really going to have to beef up these lats. As you see, the trapezius rhomboid area, nice and bubbly, nice and full, but he's going to have to really bring it up in here. That upper lat, lower lat area, you know, across the erectors, but mostly upper and lower lat. All that's going to have to come up. Going to have to thicken that up, beef that area up if he wants to have a solid chance, okay? Let's go ahead and go to the next pose. All right. Let these guys get set up. All right, they're hitting us with the overhead ab shot, okay? We actually have a photo for that as well. Let's go ahead and look at the photo. So as you see in this photo right here, this is where the size difference really shows. Remember, on that back double bicep pose, Chris's lats were literally hanging off the bone. And as you see from the front, those lats are still hanging off the bone. Look at the rib cage right here. You see his rib cage in the serratus area? Rib cage, serratus area. Look how they sweep out. Just big slabs of meat hanging on these lats. I remember when he first hopped on the Olympia stage some years back, his back wasn't like this, so he definitely made some improvements. You know, I remember seeing in a video, he said he was really motivated, inspired to beat Breon. And, you know, Breon has a great back, so I believe Breon really pushed him to bringing that back up because his back is now a strong point, okay? Lats from the front and lats from the back. As you see with Ramon, look at his rib cage. Look at his serratus. But his lats aren't sweeping out like that. You know, his lats will have to come out about right here to even have a chance. Look at this. Sweeping out. His rib cage and lats are damn near, see that? Just a little bit of hump. He has a huge hump, okay? So we definitely know who got the better back from the front and from the back, okay? But as you see downstairs, they're pretty close. But Chris, again, he's harder and drier. As you see, you can see a little bit of striation here, right? You can see just a little bit of striation in the quads. He's a little bit harder, not by a whole lot, but he's a little harder and a little drier. And that's most likely because he's a little more developed, okay? So as you see, guys, Chris is definitely winning these poses, but this guy is not that far behind. In my humble opinion, of course, You know, bodybuilding is a subjective sport. You know, it is what it is. In my humble opinion, Ramon is not that far behind, guys. I don't know where all this light years ahead, where that shit's coming from. I've seen several people in the comment section saying, oh, we already know Chris got this. So let's go to the next pose, guys. Next pose. I believe they're going to hit us with a classic pose. All right. I really don't like judging poses like this. I want to see both guys. That's why I like open bodybuilding. I want to see everybody hit the same fucking pose. You know, none of that freestyling shit. Save that shit for the pose down. I want to see everybody hitting the same pose so I can judge everybody equally. Yeah, that's just my opinion. But if I had to choose, I go ahead and give this one to Chris. You know, nice silhouette, nice X frame. Now this crucifix pose looks damn good on Ramon. Nice full legs, tiny waist, flaring lats, right? Arms extended outward, showing off these pie forearms. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that one to Chris. And the reason why I'm gonna give it to Chris is just there's a clear size difference. If he was hitting this pose next to somebody smaller, it'll be lights out. But standing next to somebody like Chris, he'll probably have to pick a better pose. Because having his arms extended outward like this, you know, it just makes him look slim and slender next to Chris Bumstead. Great pose. He's just doing it next to the wrong person. That's my opinion. All right. And I believe there's one more pose, one more final pose, guys. Let's go ahead and check it out. The twisting double bicep. See this? Beautiful. They're both hitting the same pose. Okay. Which means they're both confident. Now, I believe I have a photo for this pose. Let's check out the photo. So here's the photo. Now, check it out, guys. Glutes, crazy detailed. They both got that. They both came in conditioned, okay? As you see, both got calf detail. Hardness and fullness in the legs is close on this pose. Now, let's go upstairs. This pose right here is really complimenting Ramon because standing straight to the back on the rear double, you really see how shallow he is in the lower lat area. You know, being able to twist, all you're really able to see is those upper back muscles. And they both have development in the traps and rhomboid areas. But Chris is just a little bit ahead, but not by much. Just a little bit ahead. Okay, but this was a damn good pose for both of them. Very close. And look at those fucking forearms. Guys, y'all tripping. This guy has a chance to beat Chris if he can bring up his weak points. Damn good pose for both of them. Damn good pose for both of them. Look at that. Deep separation between the bis and the tris. But as you see Ramon right here, see that brachialis? The brachialis is the muscle right between the bicep, right between the tricep, right up in here. You don't really see that shit popping out on Chris Bumstead. This man has potential, guys. All right, homies and homettes. So there it is. That's my take on Bumstead versus Dino. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, guys, I'm not saying Ramon should have won. All I'm saying is I don't agree with everybody saying Chris Bumstead is light years ahead of the guy. Bumstead has more back. And as they say, shows a one from the back. And he came in harder and fuller in the legs just by a little bit. And these things matter when you want to pick first place versus second place. And also, I would love to read your comments below. You guys comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Well, anyway, don't forget to like my shit, comment, subscribe, and holler back at your boy. Peace. silence before we fuck up these weights.